Now back to the Dana Barrett Show here on WGST.
You better watch out.
All right, we are back and we are concerned about Santa. Usually Santa, needs some counseling and therapy after Christmas because, he's tired, he's a little depressed, it's all over for the year. But, when we dig a little further into who Santa is, it appears maybe he should be in year-round counseling. I wasn't quite sure, so I figured I'd bring our favorite psychologist on the air to break this down. Dr. John Huber joining us on the show right now. Dr. Huber, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dana. How are you?
I'm well. Are you all ready for the holidays?
I start shopping usually Christmas Eve and just kind of run through things there. So, yeah, I'm not stressing over it.
Oh, okay. You better check the...
I'm teasing.
You better check the store hours, my friend, because I don't know if they're all open late like they used to be.
Then they didn't need the gifts I was going to give them anyway.
That's right. Who needs gifts when they have you? Look, I'm concerned about Santa. Obviously, we're not taking this terribly seriously, but Santa, apparently, when you really break down some of the descriptions of Santa, he's a little bit of a troubling dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and he may need more than a therapist, too. He may need some attorneys.
Uh-oh.
If you start breaking it down and looking at it really close.
So let's start with the fact that he's a little bit of a stalker, because I don't really want anybody seeing me when I'm sleeping and knowing when I'm awake. Yeah?
He's definitely a voyeur, and, I think, we have all these government spy satellites and stuff, right? No, I think it's actually Santa.
Oh,
and I think he does this for all the different governments, so that way he gets away with everything else he's doing that I don't think is too appropriate.
That's a good point. We say that the Russians are spying on us and the Chinese, but really it might just be Santa.
I think it is. And, who else knows, when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake? And then he is judge and jury. He knows if you've been good or bad.
Ooh. So he's a little judgmental is what you're saying also.
And somewhat narcissistic. I mean, you think about it. How many people have not seen Mama kissing Santa Claus? He gets around.
That is unacceptable. That is a scandal.
And Mrs. Claus is back home like she doesn't know anything about this.
Come on. Mommy is kissing Santa Claus. That's a really good point. He needs to, keep it on the friendly level. He doesn't need to be going after all those moms. That's kind of gross.
Definitely. And then, he calls these helpers elves. I call it he's violating child labor laws.
Oh,
but
he's trying to front like they're elves, but really they're just kids, and he's violating child labor laws. I get it. Okay.
Exactly.
Look, here's another obvious issue. He's a little big around the middle, so maybe he's got something. He's kind of eating his feelings or something. What's happening there?
Definitely. Well, and some people say, well, he only works one night a year. And again, I go back to he's kissing everybody's mom. I don't think he even works that night. I think he's got all these little children running around doing everything for him, and he just sitting back taking all the credit for it.
That is hysterical. So look, should he be going, do you want him on the couch for some therapy? What do you think? Could this be fixed?
We have to look at this. I mean, what do we say about pedophiles and sociopaths is they really can't be fixed after, they hit about 21, 22 years of age. And this guy spends, a good 2 months out of every year going, hey, little boys and girls, come sit on my lap. I'll give you a present. So maybe we shouldn't even try therapy with this guy. I mean, come on.
Okay, that is hilarious. Yeah, he just needs to go. He just needs to go right into North Pole,
Jail.
Justice system. Yeah. I wonder if they have a jail up there at the North Pole. Hilarious. Obviously we're joking about all of Santa's issues.
Exactly.
But, I mean, I think it is sort of appropriate because we've heard so many people that are seriously getting offended this season about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and about Baby It's Cold Outside. How come nobody's really gotten offended about Santa just yet?
Well, I just don't think they've done their homework, and I'm waiting for everybody to get mad at the snowman because, I mean, he walks around without pants on and then he smokes in front of kids. Who does that in your neighborhood?
That is a fair point. And he also is like the Pied Piper kind of thing. He's got the kids following him around the neighborhood, leaving their backyards and following him around. That's also a little creepy. Where's he taking them?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then he has them touching him all over the place.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm not even going to go there with the coal for eyes and the carrot for his nose. Yeah.
Hilarious. Okay, so on the serious side, before I let you go, Dr. Huber, this is a tough time for a lot of people over the holiday season. There is a lot, look, a lot of people are enjoying it and loving it and having fun, but there are people that get, depressed over this time of year. Things, maybe they don't have family around. Are there any good ways to cope with some of that ahead of time before it hits you?
Well, I think you kind of brought up a point. It's important to know that it is a stressful time, even if it's good stress. And if you're having problems, you're having issues, don't be afraid to ask for help. This time of year, people are willing to listen. You don't necessarily need a professional to just make a connection with somebody.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you're alone, there are lots of things to be doing. Don't sit and wallow in your misery. There are homeless people that need fed at these shelters. I mean, around here in Central Texas, every place is asking for volunteers. And what my wife and I do is we try to find our friends and small families that are isolated for whatever reason. Everybody else is on the East Coast or West Coast. And we invite them to our family events. And it not only helps them, but, when you have that family member who is always trying to start something, now when you have a stranger who's a witness, they don't do that.
Yes.
They calm down. So it brings peace all the way across the board.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, exactly. And it is such a pleasure. When you bring pleasure to somebody who doesn't have family there and you've incorporated them with yours, and you'll not only make this holiday special for them, but you'll solidify that friendship forever.
I love that idea. Dr. Huber, that is why we always have you on. Always great thoughts and great advice, and I'm a big believer in that. So always great to have Dr. Huber on the show with us. Of course, the whole thing about Santa was just a joke before you get your, panties in a twist, as it were. We were just kidding around. Totally okay with Santa. But I am also a big believer in inviting people to your family meal. I always do that at Thanksgiving. That's when I do my big holiday celebration with my family in town, and I always have new friends that join us. It's one of my normal questions around this time of year is, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Oh, you want to come to ours? Because I do feel like it's not that hard to do, and it's fun for them, and it's fun for me. And yes, it is another layer of protection between me and my family. And I'm all for that. So maybe think about that this Christmas. Or I like the volunteer option, too. Always